Yeah, and then let's get into another article that you were talking about, and
Yeah.
that is the Lyft pinky swear, and
Yes.
how Lyft was, threatening to deactivate you when it
Yeah.
came to following their own policy.
100%. So let me set this up for 30 seconds. I live in the suburbs of LA, a place called Granada Hills. There aren't too many early AM rides to LAX from there. There are plenty from the city. So what do? I go to the Lyft schedule rides. There are plenty of people going there. So Lyft schedule rides, by the way, is one and only one thing that they're superior to Uber in. One. That's it. Okay. Dependable, not too many cancellations. Actually, no cancellation the last 6 years for me. So I'll pick a schedule ride at 5 a.m., 5:30 before the 405 freeway. Whoever's in LA knows this. It becomes a parking lot. I'll be in the center of the city at LAX when the surge is going to start at 7 a.m. on Uber. And I combine that. It's, by the way, from my house to LAX is a $35 ride on base without surge on Lyft. I'll pick up my schedule ride, go there. On this occasion, Lyft also had offered me 3 4 18. So I make sure that first ride is first ride of the 3 4 18 streak, right? And then once I'm in the city, rides are galore. So I'll just set my DF and do a couple more quickie shorties on Lyft. And that's 30 plus 18 plus another 10, probably 10 to 12. If I catch some surge. But that's like $60, $65 at most an hour and a half. That's for Lyft, that's good money. So sure enough, one of those days, I pick up my passenger, drop off at LAX, go to my second ride. I'm on my third ride. I get this ping. I said, great, I'm about to finish my streak. I'm going to get my $60, turn the Uber app on and kill the surge and go home. I'm like, okay. So the passenger is literally 2 minutes away. It's 6 in the morning, still dark. This is happening like 2 months ago. And then I get to the curb, and not in a bad part of the town at all. Marina del Rey-ish, let's give it that. I have this 23, 25-year-old girl, maybe max 25, stumbling, this is no joke, stumbling towards my car with a bunch of grocery bags, holding a bunch of grocery bags, right? So I have a policy, if it's dark or at night drunk hours, I will not unlock my door until I confirm, which everybody should do, who the passenger is. I put my passenger window down halfway. Just when I was about to ask her who she was, because I'm assuming she's my passenger, I don't know, she starts cussing at me. Every name in the book. You MFer, blah, blah, blah. You're coming the wrong way. You're doing this. You're not helping me with my bags. I'm like, oh shit, this is going to go sideways real fast. I put my window up a little bit more. Right when I do that, one of the bags breaks, the handle. There is tomatoes, potatoes all over the floor now. Not in my car. Right then and there, I decided that this woman is not getting in my car. But then I'm thinking, okay, shit, it's my 3 4 18 streak. It's my last ride. There goes my $18, right? Then I get, and then she starts cussing at me some more. I go, push the arrive button, cancel the ride. You see my tailpipes, young lady. I'm not going to call her names, but I'm sure she was involved in some sort of illegal, puff or whatever it was. So to me, I'm like, done. There goes my 18. I go get a cup of coffee. I'm chill. On the screenshots, if the times are there, long story short, within 6 minutes, not longer, 6 minutes, I get this email from Lyft accusing me of these three things. So next slide, Chris, let's see it. That one. It says, hi, Sergio. It says canceling too often. I'm like, no, I'm not. I don't do enough rides to cancel. The next one, not driving towards your passenger. Lyft, if on the third leg of the street you don't send me a ride that's 14 miles away in the middle of Santa Monica where there is billion rides that are closer to me, I would love to pinky swear, I would love to drive towards the destination, pickup point. And the third one is asking passengers to cancel. Never done it, ever. Once I accept, I'm going to do it unless a crackhead like that is trying to get in my car or whatever. So I'm like, okay. So now it says you're at the risk of deactivation. I'm like, why am I? If I don't cancel. And then I look, these are all the screenshots from my app. These are not doctored. It says my cancellation rate on the right screenshot. It says avoid canceling rides or asking passengers to cancel, which I never do and never done. It says I'm at 5% cancellation rate and I'm at the risk of deactivation because of 5%. I'm like, oh man, that must be the threshold. I'm like a 5-star driver with, I think, close to 1,200 rides on Lyft. I'm like, okay. So now I'm going like, how do I keep staying on this wonderful platform of yours, right? And then what they do, they said, you have to go to cancellation rehab school, Sergio. I'm like, huh? I made that up, by the way. There's no rehab school, but there is a school that they push you through on the app, video by video. It took me 45 minutes, by the way, to do this, you know? And I'm thinking, okay, we're safe now, right? So the next one, Chris, you see what happens on the next one. Okay.
Talk about this
So
one right here.
yeah. So by the way, this is the one on the right, the screenshot on the right is from their own website. Some reasons to cancel. Your passenger makes you feel uncomfortable. If a crackhead is calling me every name in the book before they got in my car, that is making me very uncomfortable before you got in my car, let alone after you get in my car. Okay. So sorry, that's the reason. It's your policy. I cancel. And then we'll go on and on and on. I finished the cancel rehab school. And look at this one in the middle. Look at this one in the middle. Now I have a challenge from Lyft. It says I have to do 10 rides without canceling one. And there's my counter. There's my meter where it says progress, 0% complete. So I have to do cancel rehab school and I have to do a drive challenge, not to get deactivated. Otherwise, sayonara, Serge. I'm like, let's play along with this. Let's do the rehab school. I have so much time in my head anyway. And then comes the tough part. I have to do this challenge without canceling 10 rides. I'm like, that's the tough nut to crack. So I took care of that by using BF, and I'm just making sure that I just do a couple of shorties or 10 shorties. So that's my story. But besides that, I'm going to tell you guys a story that's near and dear to my heart. I had a friend called. Oh, there you go. These are all the threats I'm getting. Ready for the test drive challenge? Let's go. I pushed the start button. How is this? You can't even do this to an employee, bro. They'll find a lawyer and sue your ass, right?
Welcome,
and then look at my records. Like amazing.
Welcome
I'm amazing.
to Cancellation Anonymous.
Yeah, I did. I finished that Cancellation Anonymous school, and then it says, yeah, let's do the challenge. So besides that, 2 minutes on my friend Jay. Nothing to do with Jay Crater, who's going to show up next week on our show, by the way. I had this friend, older friend, much older than me, grinder on the Uber platform for 6 years, father of 2 young kids. He's 72 years old. So he made a mistake, had kids, and he was like 60. Big problem. But that's his problem. This guy suffers from COPD. COPD is a pulmonary disease. If you're a smoker, you'll know you're not able to breathe. He takes this cough syrup for it, and this emanates some sort of an alcoholic smell. Okay. So one day, a female passenger gets in. He had just taken his cough syrup. He's driving. He does 60, 70, 80 rides. 5-year veteran, 495 rating, right? And within 10 minutes of this passenger getting out of the car, Uber deactivated him. On the spot. No recourse. This man is 72. He's done thousands of rides for you. 2 kids. Not that Uber gives a shit about that. And he went to the doctor, got a report that the alcoholic smell may have been the cough syrup he had just taken. Nothing. It didn't fall. It fell to deaf ears. Nothing. Then I was pissed. I got in touch with Dara Kerr, who's a good friend, journalist of mine. And if you people know, she used to write for CNET. She's a very famous journalist. Now she's at the Markup. I talked to her. And you know what? Good for her. She took on this challenge, introduced Jay to an attorney, but did a nationwide story that ran 3 years ago, right before the pandemic. Guess what? Jay is still deactivated, Uber. For what? For some cheap passenger trying to get $6 back. Finished the guy's career. Today he's homeless. He's still got 2 kids he takes care of. I don't know how he's doing it. He's probably doing it on Lyft. But this is a story near and dear to my heart, that this deactivation BS has to end, this unjust deactivation. Because if Lyft can put me through this, the only reason they did not deactivate me, it's some algorithm, by the way, no human did that, is because I finished my challenge, my drive challenge, to be worthy of the pink mustache. Otherwise, I'd be gone. Do they care if you're a 5-year driver, 10-year driver? And you know how many thousands of stories we heard about this on RSG, right? People just are getting deactivated right and left with no cause, only by the word of a cheap passenger who wants their $6 back. I'm done.
All right, thanks for watching. That short little clip was from our live stream, Show Me the Money Club, with Sergio and myself, Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Make sure you subscribe, turn on all notifications so you'll be notified when we go live, as well as all of our awesome content. Make sure to check out this video right here, which will take you to the entire live stream, or check out this video right there. All right, drive smart, everyone.